Welcome to episode 7 of the Nooniverse. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Tristan.
We're going to start with the drama rundown, where we talk about a few shows that we're watching.
You mean you're going to talk about a few shows that you're watching?
This next segment is brought to you by Rachel simping for BounPrem for 15 minutes.
Oh, you're going to time yourself for 15 minutes?
I mean,
because I can see this going on for like an hour where it's
I don't know what she's talking
about.
I literally have no idea what she's talking about. I swear I don't.
I don't believe you.
So, in all honesty, I finally watched Until We Meet Again.
Finally.
Yeah, she's been on my case forever about it.
Yes.
And
yes,
Jesus Christ, am I tired of it.
Are you? Because you loved it.
So, if she had shown me a picture of Boone, this bitch knows I would have watched it in like 2 seconds.
Just because you're a thirsty bitch is not my fault.
I mean, but he's gorgeous. There is a level of like sexy this man has that's just natural. And the only other person that I can think of for me, and everybody's opinion differs, the only other person that I could see that has that level of natural sexy is Lee Jong-suk.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. I said it.
Oh.
And I'm sticking by it.
No. Now it's like flashing in my brain. I could see it.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
Boone has like a really natural, like sexy smile. Like he's just, it's a way he carries himself and the way he acts around people. It's just really sexy. So she's been on my case forever about this, and I literally just finally watched it. So I guess I'm going to talk about Fluke. Whatever. Like, she's going to make me, because if I don't at least say one thing, she'll probably slap me upside the head. So I will say, Fluke's acting is absolutely flawless, and he's super believable and interesting, and probably my favorite part of the series for me. It's so hard to say, but I really liked My Engineer, and I liked Love by Chance, but after a while, it's literally the same plot device, you know, the engineering student, and that's how it moves forward, and it's good, and I like it, you know, whatever, and I appreciate the series that way, but sometimes I need just like a little bit of variety in my shows, and I feel like that's what Until We Meet Again is. Fluke is a really interesting character, and he's interesting, and even to, you know, whatever degree Ohm is as well. I've told Tristan this. I like Dean, don't get me wrong, but it's weird. Whatever, I don't know. Whatever, I said this to Tristan, like, whatever it is, he's a good actor, but he's really stiff in my opinion. And I feel like I'm a little biased because I love Cal so much, right? That like nobody quite lives up to Cal, and like seeing Cal and Earth and then Luke as well, who are just really natural and really comfortable in their positions. Ohm, in my opinion, just sticks out kind of like a sore thumb. I'm not saying that Dean isn't a good character. I'm just saying that like comparatively, he wasn't as good as the other actors. So see there, I commented on Ohm and Fluke.
Now you can move on to BounPrem.
Now we can get to the good stuff. I've said all I'm going to say about the main plot and actors. I liked them. They were great, blah, blah, blah. They are not the reason that I would rewatch this series. Tristan's over here shaking her head because she knows.
I know.
This bitch knows. If she had literally just shown me a picture of Boone.
Legit, this is all I've been listening to since she finished the series.
Oh my God, he's so... Guys, it's ridiculous. Like, there isn't supposed to be another guy quite like Lee Jong-suk. That sexy is supposed to be, like, you know, reserved for a very small amount of people. And Boone is, like, way up there on that list for me.
It's like Boone and all of SF9.
Yeah, no kidding. That move was, I mean, I'm sorry. We're going to get to that later.
Yes.
Can we just talk about, for like 2 seconds, about the real reason that I like WinTeam? Obviously, I love Boone and I think he's gorgeous, and that's why I like the series. But the real reason that I like WinTeam is BL has this crazy need to pretend like boys don't have feelings. Like, it's really strange to me. There's only very few. I don't want to like blanket statement it because it's not true for all series. Like, it stays in a totally different league, obviously. I told Sunset about you, I mean. But like Win, Tarn, Mork, those are the 3 that stand out to me, okay? They unapologetically state their feelings up front in an honest and caring manner. Like, the moment that I knew I was there for Win was the end of the damn series. You know, the boys only had like 30 minutes
Oh, I know.
total.
They had a very short
In
part.
17 episodes.
Yep.
They only had like 30 freaking minutes in the show. But anyway, Win comes over, or he brings Team with him for whatever reason, and Team falls on the bed. Oh, that's right. He's drunk. And he says, don't I need to get a shower? Aren't I disgusting? And Win jumps on top of him and he's like, no, you don't smell bad. And then he starts goofing off like Win always does. And so Team gets mad at him and says, you goof off with everybody. And like, I don't want to just be, basically he's telling him like, I don't want to just be another like number for you. That's not what I'm into. And Win looks at him and he pins him down to the bed after, I want to say Team kisses him first before Win says it. I believe Team kisses him first and then Win says, you can be afraid of anything in this world, but not my feelings for you. Guys, like, I need all of my BL men to speak to each other this way. Like, this is why Win is such a good character. I don't care about all the other characters in this show. Literally, I was in a little puddle on the floor when Win turned to Team, and he didn't turn to Team, but he looked down at Team and he's like, no, like, my feelings for you are real. I like you. And you can be afraid of whatever, but not me. That's it. And then the book. I'm not going to give any spoilers because Tristan would kill me, but the book is really, really good. It's only 9 chapters that are translated because the note on the book on Wattpad is that P Sheep decided to not write anymore. I don't know how true that is. I don't speak Thai. I don't read Thai. I have to rely on other people's translations. So my note here is, if you are looking for more Win and Team, I would say read the books. They're really good. Read the book with the 9 chapters because it's so good. Like, Team is such an interesting and complex character. I don't want to give too much away, but I absolutely adore Team. And Win has these crazy feelings for him that are pretty upfront and open, and you hear about them pretty much from the start. So it's really good. Okay, so since I talked last time about how much I really wasn't into the awful writing for Oh My Boss, Tristan's so tired of hearing about this, by the way.
No, but I agree with you because it just was not good.
This is not how series should be written. But I wanted to put my money where my mouth is, so to speak, and give you guys a glimpse of a Mook series that I actually think is worth your time. I'm going to start this by saying, if you don't like dumb rom-coms, then this is probably not your jazz.
So I probably should steer clear.
So you probably wouldn't like it. I think you should watch it anyway, because the chemistry is fantastic that Mook and Sun have, and it's really good. So the series I'm talking about is a series called Love at First Hate. It is a series about Mook plays a famous actress, Chloe, who gets caught up in a scandal involving a young Dr. Pup, played by actor Sun. She ends up having a fake marriage with him in order to protect her reputation. Eventually, they fall in love with one another, and their fake marriage manifests into something real. So that's the short and sweet of it.
I mean, I like fake marriage tropes.
It's so good. And they hate each other at the front of the series. So it's worth it. I know I talk a lot about how Mook tends to play the same character, and so if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But I'm here for it. But here, she really plays into that character. Naive, trusting, innocent. She's a little spoiled rotten because she's an actress. I don't buy into that 100%, but they did it for the series. This show knows what it is, and it plays it up. And that's why it's fun. It's a cute, rom-com, fluffy, in-between series that, like, doesn't have a lot of drama. Even the drama that is in the series, which is the sister, is kind of on a back burner. It's there, but it doesn't ever involve the main characters to a point where, like, you have to spend 5 episodes rebounding. I'm going to say it one more time. The real reason to watch this series is because Sun and Mook are literally fire. They have interactions where facial expressions for both of them, and Mook too, like, she does this really well. And so one of the reasons I like Love at First Hate is because it doesn't downgrade any of the main leads, because it is what it is, and that's just it. The 2 actors are playing up what they know best, and I don't know that that's what Sun knows best. I haven't seen him in anything else. Again, I mainly watch a lot of Mook rom-coms because I'm here for it, but it doesn't try to change my female lead into
a secretary
that grabs coffee for the boss split.
I binge watched a Chinese drama on Netflix called A Love So Beautiful, which I heard about this because Netflix came out, and I say Netflix, it came out on Netflix that there was a Korean version of this, and I had watched the trailer for it, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cute. It's like high school type romance. I could watch that. But then I learned it was a remake of a Chinese drama. So I was like, wait, let me go back and actually watch the original first and then maybe go and see the Korean, which I've heard is not as good of a remake as the original. Haven't watched that one yet. Might. It's still on my list. But A Love So Beautiful is a story about Chen Zhao Ji, which I'm going to butcher all of their names all the time forever. So it follows her through her adolescence in high school, through the beginnings of her adulthood. And she, at the very beginning, passionately claims her love for her fellow classmate and neighbor, Jiang Chan, who is very standoffish and cold towards her until a love rival appears in swimmer Woo Bo-sung. Now, I know Rachel is not a big fan of love triangles.
No, thank you.
And I like them as a trope. I do. But there comes a time when I want the second male leads to actually have more of a fighting chance. And I would have liked to have seen Woo Bo-sung actually get the chance to date Zhao Ji, because he never gets that chance. He is a great character, and you can tell he really puts a lot of effort in his friendship with her, and you can tell he loves her and goes out of his way to make sure that she is comforted when needed and that she's doing okay. And I would have liked to have seen them actually take the time to date, especially there's a point in the story where Zhao Ji and Jiang Chan break up, and I would have liked that moment to have been his moment to be able to be with them. And as I said, like, I like love triangles, but I want more sometimes out of them than just, oh, you're a plot device to use because of jealousy.
No, I want them as a plot device. I don't want to have to spend 50 episodes determining who it is like we do in Doom that's going to end up with the female lead or the second female lead in Doom's case.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want that to happen.
No, but see, I want all of that because second male lead syndrome is a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it, but I need them to give them a fighting chance. Like, True Beauty would have been so much better if the second male lead had had that chance. Anyway, what I liked about this is there's small little moments here and there that you can tell that Jiang Chan actually starts noticing Zhao Ji for when she likes him. He initially is like, I don't like you. And like flat out just tells her, I don't like you. But you can see like there's these small little snippets of times where he's drawn towards looking at her in class when they're having activities. Like he makes a point to help her or do something, even though when she's talking to him, he's just cold and is like, no, I'm not doing this for you. So you can tell that he's starting to like her. And then of course when Woo Bo-sung comes in, it's like jealousy hits and he's like, oh wait, maybe I actually do like this girl. And I also, the height difference in here, I know you like height differences.
I do like height differences.
It is adorable. So the main guy, and I didn't write his name down, the guy that plays Jiang Chan was in Go-Go Squid as not really secondary lead. He was one of the teammates, but he is the main character in Go-Go Squid 2, which I haven't watched yet. But I watched this one because he's in it. So I was like, ooh, I know him. I'm gonna watch this. I will say that the pacing of it was a bit off. I spent so many episodes of them in high school, of them going through the classes and their exams and all these little things that they're doing in school. And then after I want to say 15, 16 episodes of that, then they finally get into college. And then it just kind of jumps. They're like, college. No, we're working now. Like, it just goes super fast.
How many episodes is the series?
There are 24 episodes.
Oh, yeah, that seems really
yeah, it was very off balance.
Yeah.
Like I spent so much time with them in high school that I was like, no, I would have liked to have seen you actually progress more in your college years. I didn't get any of that because it like legit jumps around.
I mean, I like slow burn, so I liked Sodus a lot, and that is literally just slow burn, so I like it. But if it's the same crap over and over and the relationship doesn't mature at all, then I feel like there's no point to it.
So funny you mentioned that because their relationship, there's no defining moment of, yes, we're in a relationship now. It's like legit, they're out to eat with his classmates in college and he has an instance where he calls her his girlfriend and that's it. That's it. And she's like freaking out about it.
No.
And that's it. And I'm just like, wait a second. I need that moment.
When did it happen? Yeah, that's weird.
I was like, you just switched from not doing much with with her, and then in college you're like, oh, we're hanging out all the time, and then you're my girlfriend. Wait. They like skipped over a couple of steps that they didn't get to, and I'm just like, I would have liked to have seen that. If I'm spending all of this time watching this progression of this relationship, give me something that gives me that moment.
Yeah.
I get that moment with the second couple, her best friends. They have their moment where they realize that they like each other, and it is really good, and I wish I had had that with them. Not to say, like, the story was good. I really did enjoy watching it. I binged it in not even 3 days. So it's really good. It kept my interest. There's a lot of things that I wish were a little bit different with it, but definitely it's one to watch at least once. And like, I know I complained a lot about it, but it's cute. And it's Chinese, so they usually have the ones that it's very cutesy. It's all about the relationship. So that one was cute. So I also binge watched a Korean miniseries called Kiss Goblin. It's about 12 episodes, like not even 15 minutes a piece. So super short. It's on Viki. And I started watching it because Bae Hyuk is the secondary male lead in My Roommate is a Gumiho. And I was like, no, I need more of this.
He's adorable. I don't often have second lead syndrome. I don't do that, but he's adorable in Roommate.
Yeah. So in this, he plays a 160-year-old goblin who wants to become human. But in order to do so, the Goblin Queen has to give him 10 quote unquote targets of women that he has to kiss. And each kiss will gain him an emotion, a human emotion. And he meets Oyuna, who had seen him kiss someone before, and then the next day sees him kissing her best friend, and she legit just goes up to him and punches him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like she is not, like she had been cheated on by her ex-boyfriend, and she is not here for that at all. So she confronts him, is like, no, I just saw you kissing someone else. You're not two-timing my best friend. So then you get all of that, and then you throw in an exorcist that's trying to kill him before he becomes human, and you also throw in cohabitation, because that happens.
Of course.
And you get Kiss Goblin. So again, I said this, I watched it because of Bae Hyuk. In this, he is so good. He has to go through all of the emotions. So anytime he gains a new emotion, it hits him, and he has to like go through it and adjust to the emotion that he's getting. So at one point, like he gets infatuation or desire and comfort. And one of my favorite scenes is he gains anger, and he's like just walking around like just arg, and he meets Oyunhun, who is crying because her ex-boyfriend is a dick, and him and this other guy were talking about her, about getting with her and basically saying shit behind her back. And so he goes and confronts them in a classroom full of people and is like pissed off at them and not understanding what he's really doing, because he doesn't understand the emotion of anger yet. He just knows that he needs to stand up for her. And then her best friend, I guess, had recorded the conversation that the two guys were having and plays the conversation back, because they're like, oh, we didn't do anything. What are you talking about? So they get their comeuppance, and then she punches her ex-boyfriend.
Nice.
I loved the main female character in this. She very much was like, I'm not standing up for any of your bullshit. It's gotta go. I will say, so this had Jang Eun-soo in it, who is from Where Your Eyes Linger. Not the guy that you like.
You're talking about the stoic one.
The stoic one. Yeah, the bodyguard.
The bodyguard.
Yeah. So he was in this, and I felt like he was underutilized. I would have liked to have seen him with more of a role. Basically, he just runs in and then runs out, because they learn that if she's around, like, he can't hurt a human. So if she's around, he can't do anything. Every time he kisses someone, the exorcist like senses that it's happening and will show up. But if she's there, he can't do anything. So he shows up and then runs away. And I'm like, really? I would have liked to have seen more from him in this, because I really do like him a lot as an actor, and I would have liked to see more.
Was he the one that was in The Wedding?
Yes, in Nobleman Rue's Wedding. He was in that. I didn't like that one, and which is really sad, because it had 3 really great actors in it, and I think it was a writing standpoint. I just didn't like the story at all. It could have been executed a lot better. Not to say that it wasn't cute. It was, but it wasn't my thing, which is sad. to say, because
Yeah.
I'm here for one, cross-dressing, which I know you're not there for.
No, not my thing.
Historical BL, which we don't get hardly any. So I was there for it. It wasn't executed properly. My only other thing that I'm going to say about Kiss Goblin is the kisses were a bit inconsistent. And I say that because he's having to kiss a lot of people in this show, which you don't.
That poor actor.
Yeah.
I just learned recently too that apparently in Thailand, and I don't know how it happens in Korea, not to interrupt your little spiel, but I learned it was Why Are You that I learned this on. But apparently they have to the reason that these boys wear so much lip gloss and lipstick is because it's hours where they have to sit there and kiss each other. I'm just saying and wanted to throw that in there because I thought it was interesting.
She's talking about BounPrem again.
I am not.
You're thinking about it.
I mean, now I am.
Yeah. No. So his kisses in this were inconsistent. And I say that in at some points he is the closed mouth kissing, just standing there. And then sometimes he's really into it. And I'm just give me all of that and not just I'm going to stand here.
It has to be a producer. It has to be a producer saying the way they want the kisses or something.
It was either that or maybe the actresses that he was kissing. I don't know. I just wish that it was more consistent because watching him, he is a really good kisser and visually. And I just wish that it hadn't been as inconsistent as it was.
See, that's my thing with Omen Fluke too. Is that Fluke is such a good he's into it and he's there for it, to be in his character. But Ohm is just so rigid in my opinion. I think he tries really hard. And God, I do still like Dean. I'm just saying he's just very rigid. Yeah. So I think I agree with Tristan. Yeah. It's gotta be a specific actor or actress thing.
Yeah. I wish that it was a little bit more. I really enjoyed the series.
Right.
And because it's a mini series, you can just watch it really quickly.
Really fast.
Yes. I watched it in one sitting. It's that quick. But I really did. I enjoyed the plot of it. I enjoyed the actors. It's definitely one that I would recommend to sit down and watch for anybody. Definitely worth it.
So
I know where you're going with this next one, so I'm just preemptively laughing.
Okay, so you remember how I said that there was a very small percentage of people that I feel should just be naturally sexy? I don't know what it is about first.
Do you want to give context first?
Yes,
because
I guess so.
Nobody's going to know what you're talking about when you just say first, because there's so many of them.
That's true. That's true. There are. So if we move into our segment about what we're watching together, we actually started a series kind of separately and then together because we have been sleeping on this series for weeks now, apparently.
Well, okay, to be fair, it's been on our list.
It was, and we were going to watch it together, and then for whatever reason,
Rachel decided, she's like, I'm going to watch this without this bitch because...
Yeah, because I swear we decided that we weren't going to watch it together, and then I go on YouTube, and there's all these videos of Kang and Puth.
Yeah, no, it was all over TikTok.
So we're talking about Why Destiny. If you don't know it, you should absolutely watch it. I will put a disclaimer here. I'm not a fan of all the episodes. However, there are plenty of episodes that I do think are really good. Tristan will disagree with the episodes that I like comparatively.
Yeah, I watched a couple that I was just like, this isn't my thing. But to be fair, so it's 2-part episodes. You get 1 and 2, which is one couple, and then 3 and 4, which is another couple, and so on and so forth.
There are 6 couples in this show, okay? And each couple gets 2 episodes. And it's technically 13 episodes long. So each couple is going to get 2 episodes, and then we're going to get one finale episode episode with everybody, and I need Puth and Kang together again as soon as possible.
So Puth and Kang being episodes 9 and 10, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I really liked their episodes, and I'm sure you have an entire diatribe for their episodes, right?
So I'm going to go back to what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted.
Oh, you interrupt me all the time. Don't even.
I'm going to say there is a very small percentage of men that I think are naturally sexy, that are just, just have this, whatever it is you want to call it. They're just really sexy. They don't have to try, in my opinion. Lee Jong-suk being, of course, at the top of my list, and then Boon being second on that list. Now, the actor that plays Kang in Why Destiny his name is first. I do not know his last name.
It starts with not look at me. I can't pronounce any of the Thai names. It starts with
I want to say it's Yang, but I'm probably butchering his name. But he is another one that, and I really think you guys should check this out if you have not watched it. You do not have to watch any of these episodes in order. I will say that you'll benefit if you watch what episodes 5 and 6 together for these 2 episodes, because Puth and Kang are in 5 and 6.
Those are the episodes that I had to skip through because I did not like one of the main
couples, so she didn't like Monday. So I'm going to go back to it, right? So first is absolutely one of those guys that is just like naturally sexy, and he has this charisma that I don't know what it is, but when he's on screen, when he's doing interviews, whatever it is, this boy is sexy, like just hands down, right? So in my mind, what makes a good BL is chemistry. And I know over the course of the podcast that I say this word so much that you could probably do a drinking game and you guys would get so drunk off this crap, because I do. And like, I know it kind of loses meaning after a while, but this is my thing, okay? If the actors don't have chemistry and they're not having fun together, then like it isn't interesting for me, okay? I don't want to see it if they're uncomfortable. That's why Interfans have had so many problems with Nidimon, right? Mm-hmm. That scene with the coach pushing their heads together, that is not okay, right?
Oh yeah, the behind the scenes.
The behind the scenes thing of the 2 boys that were supposed to kiss. Again, we don't watch Nidimon, so we don't know. We tried it, we weren't a fan, and then we started watching some like behind the scenes stuff, and it's really uncomfortable. In the behind the scenes stuff for Why Destiny, specifically with Puth and Kang, played of course by First and Toru, the boys are super comfortable, super good. You can tell that they're comfortable with each other. The chemistry is good. They're naturally it's just a very relaxed scene, and they're not like being pushed together by some freaking coach. And again, I don't know the whole, Interfans shouldn't say stuff about Thai actors and all this. I don't care about that. What I can tell you is if the actors are uncomfortable, it comes off that way on screen to us.
Oh yeah. You can tell. There's a point where if you're watching something and it's more in body movement a lot, you can tell if they're not relaxed around each other.
Yeah. And like these guys have to kiss each other and touch each other and be intimate. Like I don't want them to do that if they're not comfortable with each other. And I don't think that we should be saying, oh well, they should just get over it just because they're in a BL. That's not what I think should happen either. I think we should be more accepting of like the fact that sometimes people are just not comfortable doing stuff like this on screen.
Also, these actors are human. We should not, if they don't want to do something, then we shouldn't force them as fans to continue on with something that makes them uncomfortable.
And I'm going to say it one more time. We gain when the actors are having fun. Like every single scene that I like is because the 2 actors, like Cow and Up is a really good example. Their kiss is freaking fire. They have fantastic kisses. Cow and Up are super good. Like you can tell they're really close friends. When you see interviews of them together, like both of them are really comfortable. They obviously have a good relationship with each other. They're relaxed. Like that's what I want. Like I don't need this whole we're going to push and force these people together that are obviously uncomfortable. So now that I've expanded on how freaking gorgeous First is, I also want to say the episodes for First and Toru are fantastic and you should check them out. It's a whole friends with benefits thing that turns into something more. And I think it's good for 2 episodes. I think it's good. Literally my only complaint, and Tristan's heard this about a million times, my only complaint with those 2 is I wanted to see the moment when Puth realized that he was actually in love with Kang. Like, that's my only moment.
See, this goes back to A Love So Beautiful. I didn't get that moment with them either.
Yeah, that's weird. So, like, you kind of see it when Puth spends the night and sleeps with him and then asks him, you know, do you want to switch when they're in bed?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you kind of get it there when Kang says, you know, no, like, we don't have to do that. I think that's the moment, but it wasn't as impactful as I feel like it should have been.
Especially since the next scenes are, well, the sad scene, of course, but then Puth talking to Payu.
Yes.
About not actually wanting to be with him and going back to Kang. Like, why, where was that motivation coming from?
Exactly. And again, in the show's defense, 2 episodes is not enough to expound on these topics, right? True. So I get it. But I wanted to see a little bit more. Just a little. Like, that's my only complaint. And it's so small because the episodes were so good. I also want to make a comment that I was never on the Max Nat bus until now, but I finally get it. Did you watch those episodes?
Not yet.
Okay, so you still haven't seen those. So I'm not going to ruin too much of it. I'm going to say they're super cute and adorable. That's episodes 3 and 4. And they were super cute and, you know, cringy cute. So if you like cringy cute.
I liked them in Close Friend. Their episode was super cute.
Oh, yeah, it was. The judo master and that was cute. And then, of course, the whole reason that you should watch 7 and 8 is because Puth and Kang are in it. And Tristan made this comment. I'm never going to let this go because it's so fantastic. 7 and 8 has this whole Cruel Intentions feel to it. And I'm always here for anything that resembles the Christopher Hampton book, like always. That's the guy who wrote Dangerous Liaisons. So we joked that, I say we, this was a Tristan joke. I made the joke that Team is definitely Ryan Philippe. And so Tristan was like, does that make Kang Sarah Michelle Gellar? And I'm like, it does.
It does. It so does.
So it's 7 and 8 are adorable. I really liked them. Tristan was not a fan of Monday.
I was not. So for me, he was just too innocent and naive, I think. And that, I don't know, that just, not that it bothered me. It's just, I couldn't get into the character.
So he was more Selma Blair than he was Ryan Philippe. Or not Ryan Philippe, Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah. Too much.
Yeah, because Selma Blair was the sweet innocent in Cruel Intentions, right? She was the
to begin with, but then not so much. But it was Reese Witherspoon that was the sweet innocent, the one of the bet,
right?
So yeah, no, Mun was cute. I just
wanted more.
Maybe he was too cute.
Yeah,
might have been my thing.
So the only other thing I want to say, because I haven't commented, I keep going back to Puth and Kang's episodes. And the reason I keep going back is because I'm telling you guys, if you haven't watched them, you should. They're all on YouTube. So I highly recommend going to YouTube and watching Why Destiny, especially 9 and 10 with Kang and Puth. Do you like how I'm just talking about Kang now?
Well, no, I see where your brain is going. We get it. You like Jesus. First.
I mean, this guy. So my favorite scene, and then I'm going to stop talking about the series, I swear.
To y'all.
To you guys, probably.
I'm going to be listening to this for like another month at least.
So there is a scene, and this is the whole reason you should watch this. There is a scene where Kang finds out that Puth likes this guy in glasses. And so Kang gets these huge glasses and first has this really small kind of petite face. And he gets the directors find these glasses, or the producers, whomever it is, get these glasses that literally like eat his whole face. They're just huge glasses. And so Kang walks in this gorgeous red suit with these huge glasses, and he just saunters over to his seat in the classroom. And Puth is just watching him. Like, I mean, there's a moment where you see Puth in his eyes, you can like see he's having a mental breakdown, literally like having a mental breakdown.
He does not know how to react.
He does not know how to react. And it's the best thing I've ever seen. And then there's like this near frenzy when they get out of class and they're back at Kang's house. Mm-hmm. And literally like Puth is like pushing him towards the bedroom and pushing him towards like any area where he can jump him, basically. It is such a good scene. And this is the reason that I like these two actors. Toru, you can read everything in Toru's eyes. And not to mention the fact that Kang, this guy first who plays Kang, you read everything in his facial expressions, in the way that he looks at Puth, like everything. And that's why the episode and the series are so good. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah, he's very expressive, which
he is.
I think might also have been why I enjoyed their episodes a lot more.
Probably.
Maybe.
I think Team is cute too, but like, it's just, they don't live quite up to Kang and Puth.
Okay, to be fair, I had watched Puth and Kang first.
That's true. If we had watched Team and
I probably wouldn't have complained as much.
Yes.
Yeah,
agreed.
I could see that.
Agreed. So we also watched, of course, Fish Upon the Sky, episode 9. There's not a lot here. I just have one little thing I want to say. Thank heaven, whatever you believe in, for Bam's interactions, because I literally think that is the only reason that everything got pushed forward.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. As I said, jealousy is a big motivator.
Yeah. Mork has literally tried a whole bunch of different plot devices to try and get P to say this, to agree, or to even, just say that he likes him as a friend. And then he said, spoiler alert, if you have not seen it already, then at the end, he finally says, yeah, you're my friend. And it was all because of this interactions that he had with Bam. And I was so thankful.
Well, I think a lot of it was also because of Nan. Because Nan, he sees what's going on and he understands that there is issues between P and Mork. And he's like,
right,
you do realize that the guy that you've been texting is Mork this entire time.
Right.
And I think there's a moment for P that it just clicks in his brain because he said that the faculty guy next door was his first friend. And I think it just finally clicks in his mind. It's like, oh, I've been talking to Mork this entire time.
All these things that I've said.
Yeah. Like, maybe I do understand him more than I thought I did.
Yep. No, I agree. And all I can say to all of that is I need episode 10 tomorrow or then in the next 5 minutes.
I am hoping that there's, like, I liked Bam. Don't get me wrong. I did. But she was super cringeworthy trying to watch it. Like, uncomfortable cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Again, I liked her, and I'm thankful that she was there, but I don't need any more of those moments.
Yeah, so, and I made that comment that in the book, she unintentionally hurts P. Now, my understanding is that there are two, I say this every stupid episode that we make, but my understanding is that there are two iterations of Fish Upon the Sky. One of them is the original, and one of them is the one that they've modified from the version that they're showing on via GMMTV. So the original iteration of Fish Upon the Sky, apparently Bam hurts P unintentionally.
With the jealousy or with her acting
I
part?
don't know. All I know is that she hurts him. Like, legitimately hurts him, not like I don't think it's the jealousy stuff.
I wonder if it's something that she says about him or about the situation in front of P, and that...
So, my best guess is it has something to do with P and Mork hiding their relationship in the next episode.
So it might still happen.
So I'm wondering if it's going to actually happen. I don't know, guys. I have not read the book. You all have heard that I like reading the BL books a lot, but I have put this off because there are so many iterations of the book that I wouldn't even know where to start. So I haven't even bothered.
No, I need to see. I'm hoping that doesn't happen because I don't want to see Mork hurt.
Yeah.
But it could very well happen. And there's 3 episodes left?
Right.
Yeah, we don't have that much longer.
Nope.
So
agreed. We're also watching, of course, continuing on with My Roommate is a Gamiho. We watched episodes 3 and 4. I just have 2 things that I want to say. The episodes feel like they're slowing down. The plot has slowed down. Do you not feel like the plot has slowed down?
Yes. So it started off in such a whirlwind, I feel, at the very beginning that now it's because they've already established everything.
Right.
It's a little bit slower. Down. Yeah.
And I'm not saying I don't like it anymore. There's a lot of moments here that I still really like. I'm going to modify what I said the last time and say that Hae Sun, who is played by the same actress that did Yeonhwa in Scarlet Heart, is fantastic, and I need more of her character.
Yes, please.
She's
dumb, but she
is such a good character.
She is so good. One of my favorite scenes was when Woo-yo, pretends to be Lidam and goes on a date for her assignment. And they meet up with Hae-sun and her date. And I don't know how she instantly knew that it was him, because theoretically she's not supposed to have any of her fox powers anymore.
Exactly.
So I don't know how that happened, but her instantly recognizing him
was so good.
It was so funny.
It was such an easy, fun way to like incorporate the fact that, you know, she still has these senses, I guess is what I'm going to call them, where she can kind of understand or still kind of knows when there's foxes around. I'm guessing what that is.
I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense, because if you're human, you shouldn't have any of these anymore.
I mean, do you want to talk about the Tale of the Nine-Tailed?
No, we're not going into that.
So,
you know,
these plot devices don't necessarily have to make sense.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
So, the only other thing that I want to talk about, and I know that Tristan's probably tired of hearing me say this one too.
No, it needs to be said.
Women aren't objects, and Sun Woo does not get a pass for not saying anything when his friends and her group mates start talking about like giving her a number of attractiveness and how she isn't attractive, and start talking about the bet, which I want to say I do not believe at all, even a tiny fraction. I do not believe that Sun Woo is dating her because of the $100.
No.
I do not believe that at all.
It might have started out that way,
Yes.
but it's definitely you already know that he actually likes her.
Exactly.
So I don't think I do think the bet's going to come in as a plot
Oh, yeah,
device,
and it's
because
gonna
that's
be
going to
ugly.
screw things up for him.
Yeah.
But he definitely does like her.
And silence, again, I'm going to say it one more time. Silence is literally just an agreement without words. Him not saying anything when his friends are rating her, which is gross and disgusting, is just... I was so happy when she stood up to those two girls in the library. I was that was probably my favorite scene from that episode. But she, you know, we get a lot of that in K-dramas, the really popular cute boy following around the kind of weird, you know, not so popular other girl, and he falls in love with her, and then his fans rag on her for her whole life because they think she has some ulterior motive. And I get it. It's a K-drama thing. But it's just super irritating, in my opinion.
Yeah, because you can't like someone for their personality.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a really good point that she made, right? Like, these girls literally only like Sun Woo because of his face.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and they always mention about how handsome he is and how all the women would love to be with him, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, no. It's all about personality. And I think him getting to go on these dates with her, with Lidam, being able to see how she really is, even though now at some of the dates she was faking a lot of her. Oh, no, it wasn't faking. She was just being herself, right?
She was being herself. Yeah.
And like he gets to see that side of her that I think is going to really push him into being like, oh no, she's so real. She doesn't have to hide who she is.
And her friends keep telling him, you know, when he asks, oh yeah, what is she like? She likes personality.
Mm-hmm.
She likes people that have personality and that are interesting. That's all I want from a man. Like, let's be real. That's what I want from a man. I don't have to date freaking Boone, you know, every single relationship, despite wanting to. Want and have to are two different things in my head. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
The only other thing that I'm going to say is get you a man that treats you like Woo-yo does when you're on your period.
Oh, that food, man.
Like, that's all I would want.
Yeah.
Like, to be comforted, to, bring you medicine. Let me get you all your foods that you like.
Yeah.
Let me make sure you're not in discomfort. Like, that entire scene it warmed my heart as a female. Like, it warmed my heart.
I mean, he brought her like 5 or 6 different kinds of food and medications.
Blankets,
then he brought her a heated blanket, I think. Yeah, that's
so
ridiculous. Cute. It was adorable. So it's cute. It's slowed down a lot. So I'm interested to see where it's going from here because hopefully
4 episodes of 16, right?
Yes. So hopefully something starts happening. We know, as we said last episode, that he knows how to take that damn beat out. So I'm interested to see if they're going to bring that back up.
I will say, and this just hit me, their communication is top notch, because when he starts ignoring her,
she's having none of it.
She's like, no, you're telling me what's going on. So they actually have that interaction at the table. They're talking about, why are you being this way? And I appreciate that she's like, I'm not.
And he doesn't skirt the issue. When she asks him flat out, like, why are you being like this? He tells her, like, I don't think it's a good idea for us to be close to each other.
I think the only thing that he's ever, at this point, like, I wouldn't say lied about, because he's keeping to himself, is the fact that he knows how to take the beat out.
Right, exactly.
He's been very upfront and honest about everything else, no matter what she asks him about.
I need Sun Hee and Dam to be friends. That's what I need.
Now that she's at college, like, that might happen.
That's what I need. I need Sun Hee and Dam to be friends.
That, and I think that she's gonna start liking the friend.
Yeah,
like, that needs to happen.
That would be super cute.
Right?
Yeah, her liking Sun Woo. Yeah, that would be cute. I like it. So, of course, we're also watching I Promised You the Moon episode 2. This is another one where I feel like Tristan probably is going to disagree, but I feel like there wasn't a lot that happened in this episode. And I say that because the time skips are really weird to me.
Yeah, so we didn't get time skips in the first season. And when it popped up, I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, why are we doing this?
First, we skipped a year.
And then 8 months.
And then a couple of weeks. And then we skipped like a couple days. So it progressively got less throughout the show.
So I'm worried, though, that it's going to keep doing that.
I am too. I said that.
Yeah, let's not do that. I need them to, like, I get it as a plot device. I do. But let's not. Let's just not do that. Please.
I feel like we're missing a lot of their interactions and a lot of what's actually going on in their life when they skip ahead so much.
Yeah, like, I want to know how their relationship progressed in that
maturing.
1 year. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, they were going from them having
no
issues,
friends, being alone, and then all of a sudden it was just fixed and we're in the second episode and oh yeah, we've skipped ahead a whole year.
Yeah, like, don't do that to me. Like, I got all of that I needed in the first season,
right?
Because they didn't do time skips.
That's correct.
You could tell, like, they would be like, oh well, we're going to be tutoring for a couple of weeks, whatever, like a couple months go by because we have the exams, but not for this extended period. So the
only time skips in the first season, in my opinion, that were so noticeable, like they are in the second season, is of course going from when they were kids to just meeting from being kids to then going to the Chinese school after school, the tutoring sessions or whatever it was. Right. That's the only time skip in season 1 that's anything like what's happening in season 2. I'm not here for that at all. I don't know why they're doing it. It's, it's a weird plot device in my opinion.
I mean, I want more of O and Tae. I don't need to just skip ahead.
So I said it last episode. I really do think that they're going for more of a, like an LGBT series about what they're going through rather than, what two guys who are in a relationship.
Correct.
Like that's what I think they're going for.
And I can see that because they're focusing more on the difficulties of college, right? Not necessarily their relationship, but their relationship with their friends,
right?
And especially like choosing what you want to do in life,
right?
Is seeming to be the overarching plot theme in it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially for 2. So I'm going to say one last thing. I am really appreciative, however, even with the time skips, the little moments that we get of Tae and O's relationship, I'm super appreciative that Tae owns up to his mistakes and tells O, like, I'm sorry, I went way over the line and, like, I said some things in front of my friends that I should not have said.
Oh, yeah, that entire scene where they're at dinner.
In the Chinese restaurant, I was so upset with him. I was like, what is he doing?
So it went back to the original season of when they were kids, right after he did the play, right?
Right.
And he tells them, like, oh, well, you never stick to anything anyway. You're so flighty. He basically said the exact same thing. And that is what put this entire rift in between them to begin with. And I'm like, you don't need to be bringing that shit back up.
And I could literally feel how uncomfortable Top and Kim were.
Oh,
like,
right.
They were sitting and Ob to a certain extent, Gia, was his name?
Jay.
Jay. Like him to a certain extent too, but like Top and Kim were both sitting there like really uncomfortable. Like, do we really have to sit here and watch them fight? Like, that's not what they wanted to do. So yeah, a really good scene by all the actors involved. But I'm super glad that Tae owns up to his shit because he needs to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's a big thing of, at least in that we get to see that maturity from him.
Right.
Because there wasn't a lot of that in the first season. They didn't own up to a lot of shit.
But that's what made the first season so good.
I know. But again, we have to get that progression.
No, it's true.
So, but I know either, and I'm hoping it's going to be in the next episode. I say hope. I don't hope for it, but I need there to be more episodes after their breakup. If so, 'cause I'm assuming they're going to break up.
So prediction time for Rachel is next episode is breakup.
Next episode.
I assume, because like at the end of this episode of 2, they told each other, I love you, and I'm only ever going to love you.
I promise I'll love you. My feelings for you will never change.
Forever.
Yeah,
so
no, they're breaking up. Yeah.
Pretty sure they're going to break up next episode. And I'm not here for this. I am here for them. So I hope they don't do time skips here. I want to see these boys with different people and then come into, oh, I love Tae, or oh, I love O.
Yeah.
That's my hope for this series.
Well, so, and I'm wondering because, and this is just something that just, pops in your head every once in a while. Tae dating a woman before dating O, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is he going to realize that he is actually attracted to other guys outside of O once they break up?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because in my mind, I think him and Jay are probably going to get together at some point or do something together.
I do think that's going to happen.
Because I can see that happening more than him getting with Kim.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's going to get with Kim. I don't think that's even a question.
So it might come to a realization for him, like in a big way, because O knows that he's gay. Like there wasn't really any question of that,
right? Because he always liked Bass.
Correct. So for Tae, who went from dating a woman to dating O, did he have that moment of like, oh well, it's just because it's O, right. Or is he actually going to be like, oh no, I'm gay, like that? Right. That's gonna hit him afterwards.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna make a guess that he's definitely gonna go for Jay.
It's easier.
I'm gonna make a last note before we move on to Doom at Your Service. You can watch I Promised You the Moon on
Vimeo,
and it's gonna cost you per episode. So just so you are aware, it will cost you, but that's how I want to make sure that these series that we talk about, you guys have a way to watch
access to them.
Yeah, because
especially for international fans.
So like we're from America, obviously. So we're talking about US specifically. I am not sure about other countries, but Vimeo should have, for all the US fans, Vimeo should have access to I Promised You the Moon.
I want to say it's like $5.99 an episode, and you get like a 30-day rental of it.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So last but definitely not least, Doom at Your Service.
If we're talking about series that slowed down, I feel like Doom at Your Service is definitely did that too.
It did. And Tristan was telling me, you guys have heard that I like to look at the ratings, but apparently the ratings have gone even further down for Doom at Your Service, which is which makes me super unhappy because I'm still enjoying the series. Even if it did slow down, I still think there's enough here that is really interesting and, I'm invested, basically.
Yeah, but we talked about that before, that the viewership ratings lately have just been not so great.
So the main thing that I want to talk about, and this is actually episode 8, so I'm just skipping over episode 7. I really, really want to talk about the deity's thought process that because Doom caused all of these problems in Dong Kyung's life, she was supposed to dislike him. No, this is not how things work in the real life. In the real world, you have agency over your feelings. And what I mean by that is, if something bad happens to you, how you express your feelings towards how that happens or how it affects you, that is who you are as a person. If something bad happens to you, you have the ability to process it in a positive or negative way. And this whole, you caused all this shit, so she should obviously just not like you, is such crap. No, as an adult, especially, you know, and the younger you are, the harder it is to process your emotions, obviously. But you have the ability to process these things positively or negatively and to not take them so hard. And I love those scenes. Those were my favorite parts. The scenes where we got to see the extra what actually happened after the bad things. So it showed, the deity showed the scenes where, like, we'll take the one on the beach where she's sitting around and she's super sad, and then her friend drives up and's like, hey, do you want to go hang out or do whatever? And like, she processed it positively there. That was a moment for her where she was like, I don't have to sit here and sulk because something bad happened to me. And that's what I really appreciated in these last 2 episodes.
I think a lot of it is that her processing it is, this bad thing happened, which led to a positive for me.
Exactly.
And she puts it in like, I have misery, but it brought me luck.
Exactly.
And like, she has it with her friend, her brother, her aunt, and now with Doom. Like, you get that progression of, there's this moment and then someone calls out her name. Yeah. And then it switches to happiness.
Right. Yeah, so that was my favorite part of those last 2 episodes. And I skipped over 7 because, in my opinion, not a lot happened in 7. I mean, obviously there was some stuff because, you know, she got forgotten. He got pulled away from her. So we got to see all of that. But in my opinion, her telling him, you know, like, I have the ability to feel how I want to about these things. Best part of those episodes.
Yeah. The deity should not have been like, oh yeah, you screwed up her life. She's obviously not going to fall for you. Like, no, you don't know human emotions. Yeah. You don't know how they're going to process their own torment.
Right. Nope. I agree. So Tristan doesn't really remember, but I had hopes that Gina's story was going to end differently than the way that it did on episode 8. So I'm bummed that the 2 brothers, they're not brothers, I don't think they're actually related, are going to meet before my man has an opportunity to say anything to Gina about the fact that he's been working with her.
Yeah, it just now hit me of what scene we're talking about. He was going to say something.
And then
he
the doorbell
on the door.
Yep.
Like, give him a minute.
Yep.
Because she needs that moment of, oh no, this guy actually does like you.
Right.
Before her past comes back in to screw it all up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm bummed, but I do think it needs to happen because this is the series that I was talking about earlier when I said I don't like love triangles. I have no idea who she should end up with or who the series thinks she should end up with. I can tell you who I want her to end up with.
I mean, I know who I want her to end up with. And it's the guy that barista.
And the guy that didn't walk out on her and just leave the country because whatever reason, stupid jerk.
Yeah, no. Okay. It's Hyun-gyu is the guy, the barista, and Cha Ju-ik is the manager, team leader.
Of the editors.
So
now that I've had 20 minutes to talk about Boone and First.
20?
This bitch keeps saying that I simp like the whole episode. That's not true.
Who was the sponsor of this episode?
That's true. Okay, maybe just a little bit. So if you thought about it, any of the recent dramas that we've watched, maybe together, maybe not together, who would you date in real life? Who would you date in real life?
Would I date? Like actual character?
Yeah, actual character.
If we're going off of the ones that it's easier to go off of who you wouldn't date.
It really is.
Because there's a lot of characters that we would not date.
So I'm just going to throw it out there. I think I wrote this down earlier. I would date Win in a heartbeat.
Shocker.
I mean, and it has nothing to do, like, literally Win could be played by anybody. Obviously, I'm happy.
Character, like
it's
how he
the
acts,
character. Yeah. I want my man to tell me how he feels about me, like, hands down. I want him to be honest with his feelings. And I don't know what it is about these BLs lately that have all these touchy feelings. I need all of it, though.
If we're going off of that, then I'm going to say Nubsib. And I say that because he is a man who knows what he wants.
He does. So I've heard all of these conversations all over the place about how he's manipulative. And I'm like, Nubsib isn't manipulative. He knew that he loved Jean and had always loved Jean. So he went after what it is he liked. And yes, he did not tell Jean that he knew him when he was younger, but he did it because he didn't want Jean to think of him as a younger brother because they have a 5-year age difference. So yeah, Nubsib's definitely high up on my list because he's another one that's like, no, like I like you and you're mine and that's all there is to it.
I'm like, a confident man is what you need.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's why, again, I'm just going to say it again. That's why I like Mork too, because Mork's like, yeah, this is the boy that I love.
So I'm gonna maybe you might give me crap for this one, but I would date Hey Sun from My Roommate is Kumio.
She's adorable, though.
She's adorable. Like, beyond her being dumb for human idioms, she is adorable, and I would probably
She would only date her, though, because Hey Sun is adorable. Hey Sun, not only is she dumb, though, she's narcissistic.
So?
I don't know. She's a no for me.
But
I mean,
she seems like the type that's going to stand up for the people around her.
No, that's true.
And loyalty in that sense is something that I highly regard.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Let's see. People we wouldn't date from series. I would absolutely never date Tin from Love by Chance.
Ooh.
He's awful. I don't even know. I like Tin and Cantaloupe together. Don't get me wrong. But I absolutely do not like the characters separately.
He's such a dick.
He is. He does it intentionally. He's mean intentionally.
Yes,
and that just kills me. I'm like, no. Oh, in that regard, I would also never date Type. This kid, let me just say, this kid punches people when he doesn't get his way or is unhappy about things. You don't go around punching people. I like Tarn and Type together, sort of, in certain ways, but Type is a terrible character.
I mean, in the same vein, like, I probably wouldn't date Tarn either. Just like...
Yeah, but at least he's honest about his feelings.
That's true. I don't know. He wouldn't be on my list.
She's over here shaking her head, like looking up to the sky, like, no.
I mean, visually, sure. Mew, maybe, but the character, no. Why are we talking about mostly just BL characters?
Well, that's so
They're
funny
so much more true about their feelings, I guess.
Eventually. But yes, they because they are like and especially when, God, I'm never going to stop with him. I don't know what it is, guys.
It's because you recently watched it. It's more in the forefront of your brain.
That's true. Kang is also a good character, and Puth is a jerk and would never date Puth.
See, for me, like, Kang, I don't know if I could get over the part that he was in a group that made bets about sleeping with people.
That's true. No, I agree. But he learned from his mistakes and fell in love with somebody. So, like,
True.
I feel like he doesn't get a pass, but, like, people mature and, grow from things. So, like, I'm okay with that. Like, as long as the sexual relationships that he had were, whatever. Consensual is the word that I was looking for. As long as they were consensual and everybody knew what was happening before they went into them, then I'm okay with it. And the fact that, like, his character obviously grew because he fell in love with Puth. Let's talk about Puth for a second there.
No.
Because he's just a terrible character.
On the not date list.
Yeah, no. He doesn't ever grow. Like, there's no point in the 2 episodes where Puth matures and you see, like, he won't sleep around. Obviously, he won't because he says it at the end. But past that, like, he's not a good... I wouldn't date Puth. Not at all.
I would date Mork.
I mean,
you're not there.
I'm not.
No.
I'm not there from work, and the only reason I say that is because, like, I guess he does kind of grow, but the Yaoi girl incident, and then pushing too hard.
But again, having a man that knows what he wants.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm trying to think of
date doing.
Oh my God. Who knew, by the way, that they were brothers?
Right?
We didn't say anything because we didn't think it. We didn't think about it. But, like, who knew that Mork and Mean were brothers? Neither one of us saw that
was a shock. We're like, that's why he had the pen.
That's crazy. crazy, whatever, it's fine. I'm trying to think of like regular K-dramas that aren't BL where I would or would not date the main character, and I cannot think of a one.
I mean, most of the ones I'm thinking of are more of the fantasy types. Definitely would not date Tail of the Nine-Tailed. No, I can't remember his name.
You mean Lee Dong-wook's character?
Yeah. I mean, Lee Rong, maybe.
Absolutely. I would date any Kim Boom iteration at all. Let's be real here. I would not. That's not true because I would not date Kim Boom in Boys Over Flowers. I also would not ever in my life date any iteration of Domyoji. I'm talking Korean, Japanese, Chinese.
No,
none of them.
Bad character.
He is a bad guy. He is a bad guy.
I just had something, and now you said that, and now it's out of my brain. It wasn't.
I don't think I would date any character that Lee Min-ho played. I have not seen King Eternal Monarch, though.
No, I wouldn't even date him in that. Like,
he plays the same character in most of his shows.
It's basically the same.
It
like,
is.
I'm trying to think, like, Legend of the Blue Sea, narcissistic CEO type, not CEO, but,
yep,
you know,
money.
A lot of money.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry to say that I absolutely would date the high school version of Lee Jong-suk in I Hear Your Voice, even if that makes me a little creepy.
So, no, I was thinking about that earlier, because I was thinking of Lee Jin-suk's character from W, Kang Chul, and I was like, yeah, maybe. But then I was like, but I really like his character more in I Hear Your Voice, but I don't go for high schoolers. And I'm just like, I don't think I could
if I was a high schooler, though.
Yes, if I was a high schooler, I Hear Your Voice, Lee Jin-suk's character all the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, even though he could maybe hear my thoughts.
I mean, if we're going to talk about series that have a strong male lead, I would say I would date any of the men in Search WWW, even the husband. I know you haven't seen it.
I was about to say, like, we're supposed to stick to ones that we've seen together.
Jang Gi-young. I'm just saying. He's adorable.
Mm.
You know who I wouldn't date? Bright or Win from Together.
Oh, yeah, no.
Neither one of them. One of them is a narcissistic a-hole, and the other one doesn't know how to express his feelings other than, like, being a second grader.
What's Max's character's name in Manner of Death? Not
Black. Damn. Black Dam. I don't know. Something like that, right? Dom. That's what it is. I think it's Dom.
Anyway,
in the book, it's Black.
Is it Black? I date him.
I mean, I can only remember the book, and I wouldn't date either one of them in the book.
Well, you said the book was not as good as the series.
I would not date Poopa. Sorry.
Chief?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't like 1,000 Stars anyway, so I'm surprised you wouldn't date any of those guys.
He's not a good character. Let me just pretend like I don't have feelings for you because, you know, reasons, and not be upfront about it. And no, I'm not here for that.
I would actually date Manal from Until We Meet Again.
She's cute.
She is adorable.
She's cute. Any character that Cal plays, I would probably date. I'm trying to think. I've only seen 2 series with him in
so either Korn or Nubsib.
I mean, because, you know, reasons.
So
I legitimately made that comment a couple of episodes ago that, like, I didn't see what it was about Cal, but now that I've watched Until We Meet Again, I can tell you there's just something about Cal. His acting is like top freaking notch. Like Gun top notch. Like now I'm like putting everybody against Gun because like... Gun is amazing. But like now I'm telling you, Cal's acting is crazy good.
Speaking of Gun, I would not date Kai from Theory of Love.
No. I wouldn't date Gun from Theory of Love either.
Third, yeah, no.
He's a freaking doormat. Both of them are doormats in that series.
Date, so if we're going back to Together, Mike's character in Together that I can't remember his name, the one that was with Top Tap.
Yeah.
Top.
Tanhan as well. Those 2 characters. Don't they play almost the same characters in Tanhan? No?
Oh, yeah. They, well, not the same characters, but they play off of each other again.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same characters. Yeah.
Well, Mike's character definitely. Top Taps is a little bit more
mature.
Yeah.
Because he plays the brother, right?
Yeah, in Together. Yeah. Again, talking about
only BLs. And you know, I legitimately just think that BLs just have more interesting characters sometimes, especially
for when we're talking about like a romance.
Romance, that's what I was gonna say. Oh, you know who I would date in a freaking heartbeat?
Who?
Mark from Gen Y.
Well, of course you.
Yeah, well, wait, okay. So this bitch is going to say it's because of Kimmin, but it's not because of Kimmin. It's because Mark legitimately, like, immediately knows that he likes Kit. And okay, so maybe he doesn't know in the first couple of seconds, but, like, he meets him, he screws around with him, and then, like, Bass is like, hey, dude, stop messing around with my friend. And then he's like, sorry, I can't do that. I think I like this guy. Like, it's adorable. And I'm here for it. I'm here for a man that, like, is immediately like, yeah, no, I love this. I'm here for you.
I have a question for you. Of the princes in Scarlet Heart, who would you date?
Oh, man. So I'm going to have to spoiler this if you haven't seen the series, because that's going to make a big difference.
Okay.
Right? So I would not date Wang So.
Of course not.
And I would not date, so there's no damn way that I would date the 8th brother, Wook.
Mm-hmm.
Would not date him, obviously. I would probably date Bacon, and that's it.
Bacon?
Baekhyun.
He's so adorable.
He is adorable, and he's the only one that's, like, a true innocent in everything that's happening.
So... And I don't remember a lot of, like, the second half of it, but the swimmer guy that I can't remember his name, he plays the artist prince.
Right.
I like his character.
Oh, yeah. No, he's a good character, too. He doesn't do anything for me. Like, I don't know. Isn't he the same guy that's in,
Weightlifting Fairy?
Yeah. And I liked him there, and I like, what's her name? And I would date her in a heartbeat.
Oh, yes.
God, yes. She's adorable. But, like, he doesn't there's nothing... I hate to say there's nothing special about him, because I think he's cute and, whatever, but it's like a passing
character,
fancy.
though. For him, I like that character. And I do like his character in weightlifting. I'd probably date him in that. Definitely not the one from Bride of the Water God.
That was terrible. So no.
I wouldn't.
But Baekhyun's character in Scarlet Heart's just, like, he lays his shit out, like, almost immediately. Mm-hmm. Like, he doesn't...
He's adorable.
He doesn't exactly know how to express that he likes Jesus, but he tries really hard. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely date him. So before we end the episode, in other news, not necessarily related to dramas, we've got some food for thought.
So mine, of course, is going to be Kingdom, which finally finished. I will say that finale did not warrant
3 hours. Jeez. We had to allot time so that we could watch this together. 3 hours is crazy.
Yeah, I told her, I was like, we're not going to be able to watch this. I sent her a screenshot and I, like, circled the time and I was like,
ridiculous.
WTF.
Yeah.
3 hours. But yay for Stray Kids.
Yay.
For winning.
I was just happy it wasn't Icon. I'm sure I'm losing a whole bunch of people when I say that.
I like Icon, but they were not the strongest in this competition.
No.
Again, everybody's a winner. Woohoo. Here's your
I loved all of them.
Participation trophy. But
yeah, there isn't a group that I legitimately don't like. Don't get me wrong. I liked all of them, and I think they all deserved it. And I'm happy for Stray Kids because they were good as well.
The only thing that I want from this series is that it brings new fans to artists that they might not have been listening to.
Absolutely.
And I did that, and it happened a lot more in Road to Kingdom because they used lesser known groups. I did not know On and Off or One Us that much before Road to Kingdom. And now I absolutely love them.
Yeah.
So the same can be said about Kingdom, is that you hope that it branches the fans that are coming for specific artists, branches their genre out a little bit more.
Yeah. So, and Tristan told me that this is the first time that Mnet has done this show. So I'm hopeful that they continue doing it because I think it was a good show and it looks like they got a lot of viewers. So I can't imagine that, it wouldn't be something that they wouldn't want to do again.
Yeah, I think they had for the final voting was over 1 million votes in the last finale.
Right.
I do like that they used only viewership votes in the last episode.
Right.
And that they only gave out who won.
Right.
They didn't give out any other ranking at the end, and I appreciate that a lot.
So mine is not so happy. I'm gonna
sit this one out because it's gonna be upsetting.
I'm gonna keep it super short. I'm gonna try to keep it super short. I've got 2 things that I just have to get off my chest. They are, so you guys know by now, if you've listened to any of our podcasts, that I have a huge crush on Chai Ji-dan's books because they are so good. China is taking Addicted and redoing it as a series called Innocent Playmate, and they are turning it into a bromance. So I'm already upset about that. I'm going to come back to that comment in a second after I tell you about the second thing that China's doing. Newsflash to China. Taiwan is a country. It is a fact of life. And I play a mobile game that's called Mr. Love. It is a gacha game and an otome game together. And if you don't know what those are, I'm not going to explain them. You should look them up. And they are basically just it's just a pretty game that I like to play and pass the time. And occasionally I like to put money into it. They have English voice actors for the characters that are in the game. One of the new English voice actors made a comment on Twitter that literally just said Taiwan is a country. And because Paper Games is based in China, China told Paper Games that they have to get rid of this voice actor. So they got rid of him. So I'm not here for China making decisions about companies like this. I'm not here for them making decisions about Chai Ji-dan's books. I'm not here to support any of that. So you will not be hearing from me about any of the BL series in China because I will not be supporting this mess. And I can affect my personal change to myself by not supporting the games and the industry that like to do this to my BLs and to my video game, mobile games, whatever you want to call it. So I'm really sorry. It's just really dumb. I'm just not here for the high-handedness. So I'm also most upset that Chai Ji-dan is letting this go through.
Yeah. So a part of me is like, Addicted was so good.
Right.
And I think you mentioned that it wasn't her favorite.
So she didn't like the actors or one of the actor. Mm-hmm. I don't remember specifically.
It might be that because she has already sold the rights of that story, that they're able to recreate it.
Yeah.
It might not be that they've reached out to her again and said, hey, we want to redo this.
They did stop right dead center.
Yeah.
In the middle of season 1. So that could be, they could be just making up for what they messed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if they still have the rights to it, they don't have to go back and ask her for it. As far as I know, because if she had signed it away or made a contract, and if it's still under a certain amount of time, they're still able to do whatever they want with that licensing.
Yeah, that's great. They're going to tone down one of her most beloved books, by the way. This is the only series that you can get. I'm talking about Addicted. This is the only series that you can get in an actual hardback book. There's all sorts of like trinkets and stuff for Addicted. There's all sorts of stuff on Yes Asia. And so my feeling is that it's one of the more popular series than the other two, because the other two, well, one of the other ones is problematic. My feeling is that they're just messing with the wrong series, but I'm guessing that people are going to be here for it because they want to consume her stories. I just think there's better ways to do it.
Well, you might also get the newer watchers that don't understand or don't know what happened with the original series.
Right. We'll see what happens. I have no intention of watching it because I don't want to support in any possible way the way that China is doing this stuff. I won't be watching it, but I'm sure that if there's news on it, we'll be talking about it because I do have a small crush on her books. She's an amazing writer, and her books are complex, interesting, 3D worlds that aren't, flat characters that just fall in love with engineering students. Oops, did I say that out loud? I'm just kidding.
It's twice now that you've mentioned that today.
I know. I'm just kidding, guys. I like the engineering series.
You're bitter.
I am not bitter. Whatever. So that's the end of our episode, but it was fun, guys, and I hope you have a good night.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye! Thanks for listening to today's episode of The Nooniverse. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe. Want to learn more about the show? Follow The Nooniverse on socials so you can stay tuned for future episodes, special announcements, and much more. See you in the next episode!